Welcome to the Escape with Nick and Adam. Woo! And we have a special guest today. We have Jay Bone joining us today. Jay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, Jay.
He's there.
Can you hear us, Jay?
I think we lost Jay.
I think we might have some technical difficulties here.
Wave if you can hear us, Jay. Nope.
All right. No, he can't hear us.
Yeah, yours. Yeah,
all
I can hear is.
Okay, that's weird.
That's interesting.
You know what? Sign out and sign back in.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
All right, so a couple technical difficulties. It's fine. But tonight we are talking Kenobi. We are specifically talking episode 5 Kenobi. Hopefully he'll just sign right back in. We'll have him back in just a second. And Adam, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm swell. I'm doing good.
Pretty swell.
Yep, I'm doing very well. Can't complain today. I'm in one piece and grateful to be so. And I did a little bit of homework. See, the world shifted. I did a little bit of homework. I watched 2 episodes of Kenobi.
He's almost caught up. So good job, Adam. So we do have some things. There we go. Looks like we got Jay back.
Is Jay back? There he is.
I'm back.
Can you hear us?
He is.
All right.
All right. So Jay, thanks so much for joining us. Happy you can make it finally. We finally got you on the show. Appreciate you showing up, sir.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited for this.
So, all right, Jay. So let's we make our guests do their nerd cred. So why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit and some of the things that you're into nerd wise?
My name's Jason. I have a dog here. Hi, buddy.
He likes beagles.
I like beagles. Yeah. No, I work for Macomb County Sheriff's Department. I'm a police officer. I have been for about 25 years now. I'm kind of all over the map on my nerd culture. I like a lot of everything. Spawn is probably about my favorite comic. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I like Marvel, if you name it. Toy collector. Yeah, my son Patrick and we collect just about everything. So, toy-wise.
Well, I remember one of the things that
Adam might have us beat.
Oh yeah.
I've got problems.
One of the things I do remember that you were big into that not too many people I knew were into. You were a big King Kong guy, weren't you? Or Godzilla. Godzilla was.
Oh God, yes, yeah. Patrick and I love Godzilla. We're huge Godzilla fans. I can't even tell you how many movies we got. We got quite a few of the old movies, the 80s and 90s lineup. We got the entire, Japanese movie lineup, and then the 2000s with whatever they made in the 2000s. I think the last one they made was Shin Godzilla. We just got that on video too. But yeah, we're huge Godzilla fans. His room is like filled with just a ton of Godzilla stuff.
So what do you think of the latest Godzillas then? Or is that a topic for another day?
No, I liked them. I like the Japanese versions better. I'm just going to put it that way because they don't ever cut out in a big monster fight, and that's probably the biggest problem.
Why you love it, right?
Oh yeah, you just watch the monsters fight.
Yeah, that's like the people that go to like the Transformers movies and say there's like not enough story. I'm like, it's giant robots fighting, guys. Let's not overcomplicate it here.
Who the fuck is saying that? That's why I didn't go back to see Transformers, because there was too much people going around telling bad jokes in the second one. I was like, where are the robots?
Yeah, you know what you want to see in Transformers movie? Big robots.
Yeah.
Doing robots.
You want to see
giant robot stuff.
Yeah. Yep. You want to see them fight? You want to see them turn into whatever they turn into? I'm a huge Transformers fan, just not a Michael Bay Transformers fan.
All right, I'll say this real quick. I was John Turturro. I was a John Turturro fan before the Transformers movie, and I liked him in the first one. When I saw what they did with his character in the second one and how he played it out, he got annoying to me, and I couldn't really get that stink off me from him. When I saw John Turturro as Falcone in the Batman, I was like, oh, he's back. So that's all.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. I'm talking about Totoro, Batman, anything but Star Wars. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, guys.
Nope. I was worried when I seen Totoro. It's like, oh no, but no, he was great in Batman. I loved him.
Yeah, he's one of the better character actors. He might be the best character actor of this generation. So, I'm a fan of Totoro. But let's get to what we're actually here to talk about, guys. Kenobi, episode 5 just came out just the other day, and well, let's do this. Jay, what are your thoughts up until episodes 1 through 4? What are kind of some of your takeaways? What you think of the series so far?
So 1 through 4, I was really excited actually when they started this series. I liked how they did it. I liked how they kind of kept Leia a secret. At least to me, it was that they were gonna put her in it. And I like how it started out, and I don't know, as it's gone on, as the series has gone on, 1 through 4, I'm just keep getting less and less interested in it. I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
I'll say this: at the end of episode 4, I was okay with them torturing Leia as the 10-year-old and killing Reva. That's where I was at with the characters. I'm just like, go ahead. Let's just do this. Let's just get this out of the way, because a lot of people had complained about the Leia character, and she's annoying. I'm like, she's 10, she's fine. But by the end of episode 4, I'm just like, yeah, just do it. We're here. She's in the, let's torture this little girl.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I was at that point. It's like, if you don't want to do a backstory on I can't remember her name. Is it Rhea?
Oh, Reva, yeah.
Reva, yeah. If you can't do a backstory on her, yeah, just have Vader kill her. I'm done.
Right. That was the biggest thing. Like, that was the character that Disney pushed the hardest, was Reva, and we're sitting here like, I'm not going to get into what Disney called the fans before the show even came out, but I was like, look, it's Star Wars. If you want to introduce new characters, that's fine, no big deal. But you got to flesh them out. You got to give us something to work with, and that's one of the things I brought up. I was like, they have not helped the actress. They have not helped the character at all.
So let me present you with this. Let me present you with the perspective of somebody who's only seen the first 2 episodes. So I'm seeing Reva in episode 2. I watched it earlier today. And I started thinking about Moff Gideon. And when I first saw him in Mandalorian, and he walks out and he's just commanding. He's got these great lines and all this kind of stuff. And when it was over, like when the season ended, the way that it did, I was nervous. Any character that guy plays, Espinito,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo.
If it's a bad guy, he intimidates you. He makes you think it's real. Now, she didn't convince me of any of that. I was just like, okay, so when's she gonna be gone? Or she just seemed like she's definitely not a method actress, and definitely not giving her enough to do. Is she supposed to be something that I'm gonna believe is really threatening? I know she's an asshole. I know she's a dick. I get that. But I also knew Moff Gideon was too, but he had a lot more pizzazz to back that up. So that's where I'm going. Does she evolve at all?
Not till episode 5.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she doesn't until episode 5, yeah.
No, and
you finally find something out.
Yeah, fine. And it's just confirming what we knew in episode, was it 1 or 2, where it's like, okay. But anyway. But
well, yeah, that's spoilers. This is a spoilers podcast. What'd you find out?
Hold on. No, we're not there yet. We're building up to it.
My bad. Tell me.
We are going to have spoilers. In case you have not seen Kenobi up until episode 5, we suggest you go check out. Go watch the show, and then you can come back. But we are going to get into spoilers. But let's get it. And this is one of the things that Star Wars has always done very, very well. They've always introduced, especially their villains, in the coolest possible way. Even for Disney Star Wars, Giancarlo Esposito's character, when he cuts himself out of the TIE fighter using the Darksaber, that's one of the coolest damn things you'll ever see in a show. Or even just when he shows up and you just know he's just got a presence to him and all that. And how did they introduce Vader? He literally walks, the wall explodes and he walks in and all the soldiers get out of his way because, oh, the boss is here. And then how they introduced Darth Maul, where it's like the door is open, there's just this silhouette of, black. And then the Jedi's go, oh shit, a Sith. Like, haven't really seen a Sith before, but we go, that's a fucking Sith, right? You're trying to introduce her as a badass, and you are giving this poor woman nothing to work with. Her entrance is her screaming, and she's trying to come off as imposing. And Jay, you'll understand this more than, not to say Adam doesn't understand, but you'll understand what I'm saying. When you're a parent and your kid's out of line, and there's a look either you give or as a child that you get and you go, oh shit, I'm in trouble. It's one of those things, and I don't know if she doesn't have kids, but I'm just like, if she'd have just even given that look where I'm just like, oh, you don't have kids, you have like next to no life experience as far as trying to be a badass, trying to act like a badass, where I'm just like, oh, you don't have kids because all you would have to do is just give the mom look to her kids that you're in trouble. And I was like, I'd buy that. I would buy that.
Yeah.
You know, and she not to be, she doesn't even have that going for her for trying to be a badass. Her badass is trying to scream and sort of look menacing, but they don't give her any makeup. I mean, give her some eye black or something.
Dude, I know nothing.
A little something, and make her do an accent, because if you're an Imperial, you're a bad guy. You do the English accent because everybody knows British are terrible. JK, look,
all right.
Be written.
No,
don't listen to him, Britain.
Don't listen to it. It's fine. But no, that Disney or Star Wars in general has done a great job of introducing their quote unquote villain or their big baddies, and Reva's not it. So
as you can tell, I have dogs.
That's okay. We get
this
cats
is the other one now.
Yeah, so it's usually Adam getting attacked by cats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Kika a few times now.
Yeah. She's probably pissed right now because she's not in the.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah, I got both. Yeah, both of them. They know something's going on.
Like, why are you talking to people that aren't there, Dad?
Yeah.
Because we live in the Star Trek age. That's why. Damn it.
You know where I think they dropped the ball with her too is they give her nothing. Like we keep talking about the backstory, but they got to give her some reason why she acts the way she does. It's like, otherwise she comes off fake. It's like, give us something to go on there.
So far, all I can gather, like I said, I've only seen 2 episodes, is that she really wants to serve Lord Vader.
Well, and here's the thing. So getting back to more, life experience things where, how you can usually tell the idiot in the room? It's the one who's yelling the most, right? Yeah. The one who's usually just yelling for yelling's sake, trying to impose, like, you're not scaring anybody. Like, for maybe the first second for the kid or for the person who hasn't been yelled at enough in life. But after a while, you get certain people who have, life experience and they start yelling at you. He goes like, I just hear I'm an idiot coming out of your mouth right now. Like, you're not scaring anybody, right? That's just the stuff that I think. I was just like, sweetie, you are not, bless your heart, you're not scaring anybody with the whole yelling and screaming bit. So. No.
It just seemed fake to begin with, It's just it's weird, It's, I don't know. I've been using it a lot as this series went on, but it just seems awkward.
I don't believe her.
Well, yeah. It seems, and it's kind of an overall, overall theme for Star Wars. It comes off a little bit cheap. Maybe that's the unfortunate thing about watching stuff in like 4K, where you're like, man, your stuff had better be spot on, or else you're gonna spot every flaw. And I'm just sitting here, I was like, that's clearly just the set. I'm not immersed in anything.
I hate when that happens.
It's like, oh, that's just, and what do you know? That's the same set, except you move the camera over here, and I'm like, oh shit, guys! Like, I know you got like your Star Wars. You're supposed to have the biggest sets and everything, and especially if you watch anything with the Mandalorian, how they did it, where all that stuff is just all video screens behind the back, but it works and immerses you. And I'm just like, I'm not immersed, guys. I'm not buying it.
You talk
No.
about not being immersed. You just described the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie. Like there's like 17 people that live in Gotham City and only on one street in a block.
Right.
With the
Exactly.
tallest buildings you've ever seen.
The Monarch Theaters on every corner.
Well, yeah, it's like the if you ever watch the 300 where and I used to watch all the behind the scenes stuff. It's like that one rock, they just used it in literally 17 different ways, and that's how they shot everything. I'm just like, and then you watch it again, you're just like, yeah, it's the same damn rock, just same rock, same rock, and it's like Star Wars, like same alley. Oh, it's same alley. Okay, great. It's just like guys, like this, and I, I've said this before on the other shows where this was my last gasp of hope for Disney Star Wars, and you would think this was the one where they really put all their best foot forward, the most money, the best people, the best everything. You would think it's freaking Kenobi. It's one of the legacy characters. It's a legacy show. It should get the 5-star treatment, and it's just not.
Mm. No, I think they're even lacking in music in this one.
100%. That has been one of the biggest things where I was like, hey, when you got Vader showing up and you don't play the Imperial March for Vader, there's a freaking problem. Mm-hmm. That's a problem, guys. And I am not the biggest music person, but it's Star Wars, man. One of the biggest things about Star Wars overall is John Williams, and you're not utilizing John Williams, and you don't have to have him make anything new. It's what are we going on 40 some odd years, almost 50 years old? It's in the can, man. Just play it.
Just play it. Oh, so what's the next Star Wars show then?
Andor.
You watch Andor?
The show that no one asked for.
No, not Ewoks.
That was a rumor, right?
What?
No, the trailer's out for it. Andor.
No, dude, it's coming out in a few months.
That's real.
It's coming out in a few months.
It's about Ewoks?
No. No, the guy from Rogue One.
Andor, not Endor.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd be more happy about an Endor show. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Ewok hunt on Battlefront is awesome.
I love that Adventure. I have the Ewok Adventure on DVD.
I would rather watch a mini series about that instead of the spy from Rogue One that literally no one gives a shit about.
Oh my, yeah.
No one cares about that character. Why make a character? Why make a whole show revolving about? And I know, like, hey, it's one of the characters they introduced, but man, like, no one asked for that at all.
I don't know why they keep tap dancing around this fact. Why can't we have strictly a Vader movie?
Well, that's part of the rumor too. And I think Hayden Christensen's kind of been like, hey, I'd really, really like a Vader show. Let's do a Vader show where if you were to do this, and I know why they did Inquisitors, because it's already technically in the canon with the Filoni Rebel show. But if we're strictly going off George Lucas canon, where it's like, no, it was supposed to be Darth Vader with the Emperor hunting down the Jedi, not these other half-assed Sith guys. So, I mean that's what Inquisitors are. They're half-assed Sith,
right?
And so you can get so that you can get around the rule of 2, easy.
And weren't the Inquisitors kind of they were made from the video games, weren't they?
I'm not sure if they're made from the video game. I thought it very well may have been the video games. I don't play enough video games, but my introduction was Rebels.
Okay.
So,
but
either way, it's one of those things that they just kind of threw in there. Hey, cool, more lightsaber fights. I'm okay with that, but do it.
No,
right.
I like the Inquisitors. So kind of Patrick and I have been kind of half keeping up on some of the Vader comics that are out there right now, Star Wars Vader comics, and in the comic book, Palpatine just absolutely messes with Vader all the time. I mean, on like sadistic levels. I mean, because
you realize at the end of episode 3, he was the one literally pulling all the strings, and his final lie to Vader was that, yeah, your wife's dead, or you killed her in your rage. That was the final straw.
Oh yeah, and Palpatine in the comics, Palpatine just uses that to such lengths because Vader's still kind of torn about it in some of the issues, and he keeps going with that and kind of carrying on about Padme and being a Jedi and stuff like that. And every time he does, Palpatine just absolutely tortures him.
Yeah, because that's what you do to the puppy. You just keep beating him and keep him under your thumb, and that's kind of what Vader is. Well, and that's one of the first lines from Leia in A New Hope is, especially for Tarkin, I can see,
Oh yeah.
What is it? I'm trying to think of it now, but I can sense you off Emperor's leash or Vader's leash. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's even referenced that, yeah, he's kind of the dog, the attack dog, the mean badass pit bull that you don't want to mess with, but yeah, he's still just a dog.
He's just a joke.
Just the dog.
I think a movie about some of that would be kind of cool too.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I agree, but it's got to be done right.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the biggest thing is where they haven't paid nearly enough respect to the legacy characters or the fans, two, the characters, and just the canon. I mean, you've messed with all three in the last few projects, and that's one of the things that we brought up on the toy show was one of the ways that especially nerds is they voice their opinion is with their money. We are one of the groups of people who actually put our money where our mouth is, and when you have projects like HasLab trying to get some of these things passed, where the Rancor failed, and now they came out with the Reva lightsaber that's $500, and that's nowhere near getting back. And a lot of fans, this is how they're pushing back. They don't do a show like this, where they come on and bitch, but they'll sit there and say, yeah, I don't like what you guys are doing, and I'm not going to put my money behind it.
I don't know why that HasLab would even think that anybody would want a Reva lightsaber.
Well, that's the problem, because Jay, if they'd have just put it as an Inquisitor lightsaber, I think that have sold like hotcakes. Like they wouldn't have had any problem backing that. But no, they specifically put it as a Reva lightsaber, and that's where the fans are going, nope, I'm good.
No, you can have it.
Yeah, especially for $500. No, thank you.
No. And I can't. Why is hers different? I haven't figured that one out. So when you look at the other Inquisitor's lightsabers, they got the full circle with the double-sided lightsaber because they spin them kind of like she did in 5, but episode 5. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, the hers is only like a half circle, and well, I guess another spoiler until episode 5. Then all of a sudden it becomes a full circle.
What?
No.
That's un-American.
Doesn't make sense.
It's funny because we'll get into it. There's certain things they say in this show are legit un-American, and I'll point it out later. They're legitimately un-American. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. Episode 5. Spoilers. If you have not seen episode 5 and you want to be spoiler free, this is the time where you should exit. So, but Jay, first impressions, episode 5.
So there's some really cool parts in episode 5. I mean, we kind of talked about them a little bit, but like, towards the end of the episode, you still have Reva and Vader hunting Obi-Wan, and they get him cornered on that planet. Yeah. I mean, well, with the meaningless stuff aside, I guess the highlight of that episode was when they trick Vader into thinking they're taking off in their ship, and Vader just grabs it with the Force and drags it right down and starts ripping the thing apart to get to him. Yeah. That was probably one of the coolest parts, and then obviously
And
Reva turns.
I'll say this. This is probably one of the better episodes, and I'll say, from 3 on, it's gotten a little bit better and a little bit better. But just the contrivance in the storytelling and the writing, I'm just like, the writers just can't get out of their own way. As soon as they do something cool, they do something stupid. I'm just like, oh yeah, you had it, and then you kept thinking, and you thought something else was going to be cool, and I'm like, okay, so we're doing this, but and so this episode is really heavy with Darth Vader, and we actually finally get to see a decent amount of Hayden Christensen, which I'm a fan of Hayden Christensen. I think he got way too much shit from the prequels, and I'm happy to see him at least getting a little bit of a pat on the butt from Disney / Star Wars, because I think, imagine if the prequels came out during the freaking social media era, that poor kid would have been freaking more emotionally wrecked than he probably is from this, more traumatized from playing Vader / Anakin. But we do have some nice flashback scenes with, they're actually Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting, but they're training. But there's a very intense training session, and Obi-Wan's trying to give him lessons throughout, and it goes back and forth. And I'm not sure because it's kind of a two-parter, because we have Joby Harold, who was kind of the overall writer for this, and then Andrew Stanton. Andrew Stanton's actually a very good writer who has some very good credits, including like Wall-E and stuff. So he's wrote these last 2 episodes, and I think like I said, the writing is strong. I hope it's also strong in episode 6, but there's just certain decisions made where I'm just like, man, you couldn't let good enough alone. So there's a few things. So we have, like I said, they landed on the one planet. I forget the name of it, but it's a quote unquote rebel base, and Lola sabotages thing for these big doors in the bay, and they can't get. So now the big deal is they have to get the bay doors open because Empire's on its way. And there's
one of your things that don't make sense.
Well, and I'm sure, Jay, we're just doing it. We're just starting. And Vader sends, Jay, what does Vader send? Does he send 5 ships? Does he send bombers? TIE bombers? No, he sends 2 landing craft for people to do a siege. I'm just like, guys, if you really wanted to just end this whole thing, just drop a couple bombs and this whole thing's done, and we don't have to worry about nothing.
How about the bombing scene from the end of was that Boba Fett, when they showed I think it was when they're bombing the Mando's planet.
Mandalorian,
yeah,
do that.
Yeah,
don't just you really want to wipe out the rebellion real quick. Hey Danny, thanks for joining us.
Hey Danny.
And there's a few things that they just kind of pan to real quick. They have the box of lightsabers that are, I'm not sure if that's like a garage sale, just take one or give one. I'm not sure. They just have the box of lightsabers there for some reason. And one of the things that drives me nuts about this show, so Lola sabotages the thing. Now they have to get in there and repair the mechanism so they can open the roof. Only no grown man can fit in there. So what do? Oh, they go to the Swiss Army knife of Leia, because Leia can do anything because she's freaking 10. Why not? Yeah. And they're going to send Leia into this little tiny shaft to try and fix the thing. And does anybody question it? Yeah, they do. Ice Cube's kid questions it, and he's immediately shouted down by Obi-Wan, "You get her a ladder." It's like,
what?
So when did Leia become a technical expert?
How dare you, Jay? There's nothing she can't do. She's a 10-year-old
Apparently
girl
not.
Who's grown up as a princess literally her entire life and hasn't probably had to, do more than, she literally doesn't even dress herself, but she can fix anything.
And she's a social justice warrior.
So that's another one.
Well, it's like when you look at it and go, how old are you? And she goes, I'm 10.
I'm
You sound way older than that. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, it got like dummies. Like the one common sense be like, why are you sending the 10-year-old in the thing? Don't you question her. You just do what she says. It's like, oh Lord, okay. So we're doing that. And then we haven't heard from Bail Organa in a while, and then he just says, hey, I know I'd say I wouldn't message you guys, and this is a secret message, but I'm kind of concerned. So I'm just seeing how things are going, getting a little, trying to find my kid. It's like, Bale, this is not a good time, sir. Not a good time. I mean, just contrivances out the yin yang, but yeah, it's like, Bale, come on, man.
Oh, and by the way, if I don't hear from you, I'm gonna go to Tatooine and check on the boy.
Right. Hey, can you do us a favor anyway? Can you just go drop the kid off a couple of gallons of water because you're loaded anyway, and you're the only one who actually knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So they send a landing craft, and then they set up this big giant cannon because they're trying to seal themselves in, and they're settling in for the siege. They start trying to blast the door open, and then Reva and Obi-Wan have a heart-to-heart, and that's when we kind of finally figure out, we get a little more of Reva's backstory. Surprise, surprise, she is a little girl from the Jedi Temple, and she did. And this is one of the big plot points was, was it in episode 1 or 2 where she's like, Anakin's alive and he's Darth Vader, blah, 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 the whole thing that everybody bitched about, because it's like, we need a better, more important character to deliver that info, even though Obi-Wan already knew. Anyway, because no one watched episode 3. But so we find out. Yeah,
episode 3.
Well, that's the episode. Yeah, Star Wars episode 3. Yeah, where they watch on the video things and say where they actually see where Darth Sidious says, "Oh, you're Vader now," and they watch him go kill all the kids, and Anakin's like, "Oh," or Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, I can't watch anymore because my best friend's killing a bunch of kids." But that didn't happen apparently.
So they didn't show them the video? I thought they did.
They did, but that's one of the things that doesn't make sense, because Reva, at the end of the one episode goes, "Yep, exactly. Thank you, Captain America." It's like, "Oh, Obi-Wan's alive and he's Darth Vader," and we're like, we knew that. He knew that. Why is this supposed to be big news? And is there no news source where like, "Oh, hey, this Darth Vader guy is really terrible and he's killing everybody"? That hasn't made it to Obi-Wan in some form or fashion.
I actually kind of think it was cool that they kept Obi-Wan that Obi-Wan was in the dark about that.
That's the thing. They really didn't elaborate like how he got to be as low as he did, or they just kind of said, "No, he's kind of a piece of shit now, and he doesn't do anything, and he works at a meat market."
He steals meat from all the time.
Yeah, that is, cutting, a little off the top for his pet, whatever camel thing is. But it's
he should have been the chosen one, damn it.
To be honest, her revelation that she was a youngling, I think it would have made more sense when she told Obi-Wan that Anakin's alive. I think it would almost made more sense had they revealed that she's a youngling there, and they get together for their plot against Vader.
Yeah, their heart to heart, where it would have made a whole lot more sense, where instead of just showing that, be like, I watch, and they actually gave her more time. And that's the thing, like, these episodes aren't long. How you could have stretched them out just a little bit and given more if you just showed more of her as a kid in the Jedi Temple. And then when you have and we get to the point where Obi-Wan and Reva are talking through the door now, and Reva kind of has the heart to heart, like, "Yeah, I watched him kill everybody. I watched him kill all that." That'd have been a little bit nicer to have before just spouting off, just screaming, "And Anakin's alive" at the end. It's like, okay, like there's just so many, like I said, so many plot points, and where I'm just like, man, they just could have done this so much smoother if they just take it. it seems rushed, because if they'd have just taken their time with the show and done it proper, like there wouldn't be nearly as much nitpicking as there is, but it just seems rushed. Where it's like, man,
Yeah.
just take your time with the storytelling. If you'd just taken it, if you made it 8 or 10 episodes instead of 6, and you're trying to, jam all this stuff, I'm like, take your time with it, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. We only have 6 episodes, and it's like, well, we want to see so much in these 6 episodes, but it's like, well, what the little bit you packed in there for us, it's like, couldn't you have made it, stretched it another, 15, 20 minutes, made them hour-long episodes,
Well, that's, and there's
You're just going to leave me here like this?
Yeah, exactly. You feel like that a lot there.
Well, and we were talking with Jerry last week, and Jerry's like, yeah, there's a lot of people just walking down hallways and corridors. I was like, that's how you pad out runtime with that. I was like, if you fit in good storytelling instead of people walking down corridors half the time, that goes a hell of a long way, instead of just, what do you know, we're walking down another hallway. Fantastic.
And Obi-Wan gets out of comes up through the water, and he's completely dry.
Yeah. Don't worry. I think that if they actually showed him using the bathroom and sitting there with a hand dryer, but
oh yeah, there you go.
Well, I was like, that would have at least been like, I mean, you were literally swimming, God knows how,
Maybe they have like body Dyson airwaves that air blades.
I was saying,
in the future.
Is there some type of force thing, or like when they have it like Back to the Future 2, where they just hit the thing and your thing just goes and you get tried like instantly? But
that'd been kind of cool if it was like Dragon Ball. He just kind of calls up the force and like a tornado drives him off.
Yeah, it's an undervalued Jedi trick, but it's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I call it the dry Jedi.
The dry cleaning Jedi. Watcha. So they have
robe fluffy.
You're right.
I'm not wet. I'm not wet.
Yeah, right. I'm not leaving sloppy footprints everywhere.
The fuck you're not.
There's a one like janitor, stormtrooper. It's like, the hell, man! I got to mop all this up.
He's the dude that works in sanitation.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't that Finn?
Oh well, yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that'd have been a nice little. Hey, Finn, what's your first job? I was like, I had to wash up another damn Jedi. It came up out of nowhere, man. It was weird.
That was his first job, though.
He worked in sanitation. That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have our heart-to-heart with Reva, where she's actually been plotting to assassinate Darth Vader this entire time.
What a bitch.
And here's the thing, Jay, they're trying to make us like, they're trying to redeem this character, where I'm just like, I don't know if you guys have watched the show up until now. She's pretty freaking terrible.
Yeah.
Where, she's walking around town yelling, and she threatens Owen, where she cuts off a woman's hand, where, as it turns out, she's got the power to just doink memories out of people's head, where, that has saved a whole hell of a lot of time and saved the series, where, she walks up to Owen and goes, oh, you're hiding something, doink, and Darth Vader's kid's here. It's just like, I know you can't do that, but you also can't show her, her powers are all over the place, and she just uses them when it's convenient, where, she uses it on the fake Jedi, but not anybody else. Oh, and unless she's trying to interrogate a 10-year-old, then she can't do it. But
she's the first version of Kylo Ren.
Right. Yeah. We're just. Oh.
You guys ever watch the Chappelle Show?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Exactly.
Reva's like, I don't like people playing on my phone.
Oh, God.
So the big revelation is Reva, she wants revenge for the Jedi who were her only family. The younglings were her only family, and she's been actually plotting to take out Vader.
That's why I just said what I said. That is, this is the guy you're planning on going after. They call him the Dark Lord of the Sith for a reason. There's people getting slaughtered left and right, and you want to challenge this guy. But first, you want to bring him a gift.
Well, and here's the thing too. So, in the previous episode, he choke slammed you on the table. So you think you've got a shot?
Yeah, really.
Okay. So anyway, so now there's a very loose alliance between Obi-Wan and Reva, and for some odd reason, Obi-Wan's just like, yeah, I know you've been trying to track us and take Leia the whole time, but I'm just gonna trust you. It's gonna be fine. What's the worst that could happen? So now this very loose plan where, so Obi-Wan surrenders, or after, they had this big cannon blasting at this door, and then Reva just takes her lightsaber and cuts the only thing holding the door closed. So why they had the big deal with blasting the gun in the first place is beyond me. But
actually, so my Captain America question is, why did once he surrendered, they took him back in there and closed the door?
Dude, there's so many contrivances in the show where it's like, oh yeah, not like the dangerous Jedi. He's still General Kenobi. He's still, whatever you want to say. If you don't think he's as dangerous, but how many, stormtroopers they send with him?
He's broken. He is a broken man, and his Cold War is on.
Thank you, Captain America.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
So and then there's this big shootout, and what's her name dies? Tala dies, and she pulls out a thermal detonator. I was like, hey, it'd been awesome to use that thermal detonator about 5 minutes ago when there's a bottleneck of stormtroopers, and you just go, that's me just like thinking video game wise. I'm like, if I had a grenade right now, that'd do a hell of a lot of damage.
That's the first thing we asked is, why didn't they just bottleneck him in that hallway?
Just like,
throw that thermal detonator in there.
Doink. And that takes care of half the problem. And that's one of the things that they have is, so then there's a quick interaction with Kenobi and Reva, and he goes, oh, you wanted Vader, Kenobi going to Reva. He's like, I'm bringing Vader to you. And I'm like, okay, so that was the plan. So you're surrendering so that they bring Vader down, and now Reva's going to have her chance at Vader.
So why do they want to bring Vader down now? Why?
Because now they have Kenobi, and now he wants to bring him in himself.
And they actually think Reva thinks that Vader will be so focused on Kenobi, or actually Kenobi thinks that Reva will have a chance against Vader.
So what if they go up there and they're like, Lord Vader, we have the prisoners. They're in our custody. And he's like, oh, good. I don't got to fill out that fucking paperwork tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go watch Monday Night Football, boys.
Yeah, pretty much what Vader would do is like, oh, we got him? Fantastic.
Good. Don't fail me.
And just, anyway.
Everybody's like, I'm glad we lied.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get force choked.
And so here we go with probably the coolest part of the episode. So Vader comes down. Kenobi escapes from his two stormtrooper guards. And the ship takes off, and Vader goes, nope, doink, and grabs the ship. Doesn't quite slam it down, but, pulls it back down. Doink.
Pulls it out of the air?
Pulls out of it, catches it with the force, and then it just starts ripping through the side of the ship. I was like, that's some Vader shit right there.
That's all right.
And then
that was pretty wicked.
It was pretty wicked. And then the ship behind it that no one saw or paid attention to gets up, takes off, and gets away.
Oh, so that was the one that had Obi-Wan on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ship that no one had paid any attention to, they didn't introduce or anything, and you just I remember watching it. I just remember going, what the hell was that? Like, where did that come from? Which is pretty much what I guess what Vader should have did, but also, I thought Vader would have also done, and caught that one too. So Vader's powers in the show, they use them very randomly.
Well, they do shit like that across the board in TV. I never understand. Like, there's no way this guy can't feel two ships there right there.
Well, okay, so there's a couple things, but two, because they did this earlier when they did the first interaction between Kenobi and Vader and Vader's literally wiping the floor with them, and then they put the fire out, and then he goes to the stormtroopers, go grab him, and I'd be like, dude, you literally just had him up in the air 35 seconds ago. Why not just do that again?
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, we'll go get him. It's fine. Yeah, why he can't? Yeah, why don't you?
I was just gonna say, why don't you force drag him like you did the one chick?
Yeah, force drag, whatever. I was like, dude, you're making us go over these hot coals, whatever. So yeah, why he can catch one ship and rip it apart, but not another ship that's right behind it? Not sure. But also, and this gets back to lore or canon, if you will. Wouldn't he have recognized that ship had no life forms in it at all? Wouldn't he go, oh no, that's clearly a distraction, and I sense life forms not on that ship, they're somewhere else.
Yeah, it's that acute. It is. It's.
And I guess the whole thing with me too right now is, when Vader and Obi-Wan meet on the Death Star in A New Hope, Vader senses Obi-Wan from before he even gets there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they not sense each other now? Now that obviously Obi-Wan knows that Anakin's alive, and Vader has had several contacts with Obi-Wan now. How do they not sense each other?
Yes. Yeah, when and that's one of the big, and it's getting into super nerdy territory, but it's cool. We'll do it. So when like two experienced Jedi or Sith fight, there's a reason like you just can't force push another Force user because they block all that shit. Like there's a reason like you can't just force choke someone because they're so trained like emotionally, physically, spiritually, where you just can't do all the tricks that you could use someone who's untrained. So like you said, as soon as Obi-Wan's even close to the Death Star, he goes, whoa, hey there.
He does too. Right.
So, and how he doesn't recognize, and let's be honest, they are getting Obi-Wan stronger and stronger, and the Force getting him a little bit better. Still nowhere near a match for Vader. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, so we're just going to completely be inconsistent the entire time with how we're utilizing the Force and powers and all that. So.
I think a lot of that has to
drive.
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that's part of the thing that just starts to drive you nuts in this. It's like, okay, it drives you to become uninterested.
Okay, that's fine. It's cool. Yeah. So, and then Vader's standing there watching the ship just fly away, and Reva steps up behind him and fires off her lightsaber, and he goes, "No." See, and so here's part of the problem. If Reva stepped up right behind the Vader I'm used to, it would have been he tilts his head and her neck breaks. That's about what I think it should have been. But no, they have this fight. And I'm very happy that at least they're respecting Vader enough to where he doesn't even take out his lightsaber as she's trying to attack him. And he literally just using the Force to just, no. And then he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll play." And then he does break out his lightsaber, and it's still not even a match.
He never used his lightsaber. He only used hers.
Well, so he took his out, but for some odd reason, she knocked it away, and then he takes hers. And
no, hers broke. He broke hers in half because hers had the double side on it.
Right.
He took it in half, and that's the one she.
Oh, well, that's
she had one.
Yeah, because she tried doing the spinny thing, and he's like,
"Yep,
oh, okay, nice trick," And then, but okay, so that is it. So he didn't use his. He took part of hers, and then they had a quick duel like that. And then he knocked it out of her hand or whatever. But that's when we do have where I'm like, hey, that'd have been a nice action figure when you've got Darth Vader. He doesn't really dual wield, but I saw it on camera where I'm like, that looks pretty sweet still.
We're gonna have our Dooku moment.
Yeah, I was like, that'd be a very nice toy there. And then so Vader's done playing, stabs her through, and they're not very definitive as to where she gets stabbed. Some people are thinking the stomach or through the chest, but either way, she's laying there, and we have the Grand Inquisitor make his grand re-entrance. Finally, the thing that everybody was bitching about, because you're like, hey, you know that guy's supposed to be in Rebels like in 2 weeks. You know, like I mean, we can't break canon that completely. So, and everybody knew he was coming back, but so the Grand Inquisitor's back, and he's kind of like, and this is when they really kind of start shit talking to her face, which I kind of like. Or it's just
Please
like,
excuse me, gentlemen. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, but yeah, so now we have Reva. You know, I thought they were. I knew they weren't gonna have. I knew they weren't gonna kill her. But Jay, what did you think of that whole sequence with her trying to sneak up behind him?
I kind of liked it. I liked how Vader did everything by not pulling his lightsaber. It's like it was kind of cool how he just kind of blocked everything, and just
right.
To me, it showed how he was just literally messing with her, you know, and could kill her at any point. But
yeah, it's one of those things where it comes to like anything, there's levels, and he's just like, you're not even close to my level.
Yeah,
you're still barely a youngling to me.
And again, you know, who are you to think we didn't know about you? You know,
yeah.
I liked that. But to me, I think they should have offed her. And
well, and I don't know how much you paid attention to any of the rumors, but the big rumor is that she's supposed to be the hero, you know, towards the end here, and everybody's like, yeah, but hey, Jerry, thanks for joining us. Yeah, you've got no, you have a very unlikable character that you're attempting to redeem, and everybody's like, I still don't like her, man. like when you've got your average friend being like, can you just kill her now? Because I mean, we all know how this is going to end. Can we just get rid of the character? Because you waited this long to actually flesh her out and actually give her even a touch of the backstory that was already essentially implied enough. You're not really revealing anything new to us except. And I missed this, and I don't know if you caught it. Did she say that she got like Vader stabbed her when she was a kid?
I thought there was something there that Anakin. It seemed like she was hinting at that you know he'd actually done something to her as a kid. Yeah.
And so we're gonna sit here and say she's the only person to survive being stabbed by Darth Vader, not once, but twice.
We need Captain America in this moment because
I got
she did everything. Oh.
I've got Michelangelo. The BS meter is the BS meter is strong with this one.
Oh yeah, big time. You know, she did everything that you were expecting her to do. She betrayed, you know, Anakin because apparently you thought you'd give her a chance, you know, because she was a youngling and lived. So you gave her a chance, and guess what? She lived up to your expectations and betrayed Vader. Okay, why is she alive? There's in no Star Wars universe that I know would Vader keep her alive.
Well, that was the thing from like the first or second episode, because they were implied like she's been trying to track down, you know, Obi-Wan at this point, and I'm like, I don't know Darth Vader personally, but all I know is he does not take failure very well. And there's a reason he leaves trails of officers behind him in his wake, because if you fail Vader, you don't usually get a second chance. So
yeah, definitely not. And that's what she's had two now.
Yeah, stabbed twice by Vader. So, and it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of been a running theme with Disney, Marvel productions as well, where I was like, you know, in Eternals, what's her name gets stabbed in the back? No factor. It's fine. Is it Tobey Maguire? Tobey Maguire gets stabbed in the back in No Way Home. No factor. I was like, when is being stabbed not a big deal anymore? And so now we've got a Star Wars character who has been stabbed by Darth Vader, which is usually pretty fatal. It's now she's 2 for 2 for surviving Darth Vader's stab attempts.
Yeah.
And then it really, and that was kind of one of the weaker points was, and they try to build it up to like kind of a big thing where, Kenobi's like, I'm bringing him to you. And I'm like, you're literally serving up this character on a silver plate to be killed by Vader. You're literally sending this character to their death. You're not helping her out in any way, shape, or fashion. I was like, that's not what a Jedi would do. He's like, don't worry, I'll bring the meanest bitch in the galaxy so you can have a face to face and try and take him out. I'm gonna get on the ship and take off, by the way, but you have fun with that.
It would have made a lot more sense.
Is that what a Jedi does? I don't
know. So in this universe.
Now hold on. Now, we've got to bring it up when that gets brought up in this universe. First of all, and I'm glad you're here to hear this. Yeah, hey, Jerry, how you doing?
Yeah, Jerry, what is going to happen in episode 6 and predictions? Jerry, we are going to get to that in very shortly, so don't you worry, sir.
But Jay, I'm glad you're here today to hear me say this because I've said it on the show. I've said it in private. If I'm responsible for the safety of my nephew and he's acting up like fucking crazy and I can't handle him anymore, I'll call you guys. Can you come pick your kid up? Because I can't deal with it. I swear to you, I'll never try to kill him.
Oh, I know that.
That's the way. What the fuck is that? Luke Skywalker. Oh, fuck it. I think I'll kill him. That's a bit of a leap.
That's a bit of a stretch. That's going
to the dark side.
Well, yeah, but Disney. Well, and that's depending on how far you want to go down to the rabbit hole of conspiracies for Disney, where this is kind of one of the few times, or not one of the few times, it's one that it's becoming a more common thing of taking their legacy characters, especially the male characters, and making them completely pieces of crap. I mean, like you said, we brought up numerous times. You got Luke. Like you said, he's a hermit drinking milk, doesn't want to be bothered, throws his lightsaber away, and tries to kill his nephew. And even you had Mark Hamill going, this is not who this character is. As they're making the movie, he's like, he's not this person. He's the same character who looked the meanest SOB in the galaxy in the eye and says, there's still good in you. Disney Star Wars, he says, that nephew mine's an asshole. I'm gonna try and kill him. and then you've got and then they did the same thing with Han Solo. When you meet Han Solo, what does he do? What do you do? He ditched his family, went back to his smuggling ways, and assume gambling. Basically bastardized. Just being a bastard. He's a bastard. He's like, leaves his family alone. He's like, screw you guys, abandons his family, bans being a father, and goes back to, life on the road.
Sorry. I can't stand those Star Wars movies.
No, the sequels are
they're horrible.
They're not great. Not great.
No.
And then what did they do with their last male legacy character? How do you see him? He's broken. He's not even an ounce of the man he was. He wasn't the hero. He's not heroic in any way, shape, or fashion. He hasn't had an ounce of the bravado that he had in the Clone Wars TV series. He's broken. He's beaten. He doesn't want to help anybody. He just wants to be left
alone. And how does that translate to A New Hope when he takes Luke in? Oh yeah, I can train you.
I had to wait till you were 18 because your stupid uncle wouldn't let me give you a jet.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me give you a toy.
But now that it's not kidnapping, you have to come with me to Coruscant or wherever the fuck we're going. Alderaan.
Yeah. And I have to say, why did they get... I can't remember the actor's name playing Owen. If he has literally no part in this, why did they get that actor to play him? Because I really like that actor. He's great.
He's a very good actor, and give me 1 second. I will find it for you. But keep talking while I'm looking. But yeah, you've got these high famed actors, and what do you do with them? You get a couple lines here and there.
Yeah. I know him. I know him especially from he was the orc in Bright, which is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I love it.
I just watched it the other day, actually. Yeah, you got Flea as the idiot kidnapper. You've got Sung Kang, who I know you may not recognize the name, but he's a pretty famous actor who plays the fifth brother, which they hide under a mountain of makeup. Yeah. And once again, really good actor. Just you don't get to really see his face at all.
He has like 3 lines a movie.
Yeah. If he's in Joel Edgerton, jeez, thank you. So Joel Edgerton is. Yeah. So, all right, let's wrap up this episode. So, what else we have? So we have So getting back to the Obi-Wan and Anakin flashbacks, and pretty much the big thing is, while they're fighting, Anakin's too aggressive. Shocker, that's fine. And he keeps trying to tell him he's too confident, and he's always trying to win. I was like, is there anything more American than trying to tell someone like, hey, don't try and win? Like, isn't that why we're here? Like, isn't that what a Jedi is meant to do? A Jedi is meant to protect, but he's also, you know what you do? You win.
Be American. Be a winner.
And I thought about having like the team, World Police, America F yeah theme playing, but I was just thinking, I was like, the whole point is like, you're always just Anakin or Obi-Wan's like, you're always trying to win. I was like, yeah, that's what you do in a fight. You always try and win.
Certainly not trying to lose.
Sorry if you don't like the aggressive nature, which I understand. There's a time to be aggressive and ultra aggressive. I understand some of the points, but it's like you're always trying to win. It's like, yes, we are. This is a fight. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to lose. I'm trying to win.
When you're dueling with lightsabers, I think the political aspect of it's over. You're not trying to solve any kind of politics there.
Yeah, when we're in aggressive negotiations. Yeah, when we're into the aggressive negotiations, we're trying to win. So,
and again, I brought this up on the last episode when I hadn't even seen it. How you doing, Jerry? Good to see you, man. How?
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Sorry.
This Order 66. How tough were these Jedis? Because I remember Phantom Menace, and I would consider Phantom Menace canon. That was not a bad movie. It was definitely better than all 3 of the pieces of shit that they put out. I remember those guys on the Trade Federation, the Viceroys. We will not survive this. I have never encountered a Jedi, let alone 2. So I don't know. That Order 66 just is it gets limper and limper the more you watch and think about this stuff.
Well, that's it.
These are essentially superheroes.
Well, that's part of the problem when you keep expanding the quote unquote canon. When you have the Clone Wars, which is cool, and then you've got Rebels, which hey, that's cool, but how many Jedi actually made it through Order 66? Because the list, like you said, is getting longer as the time keeps going here. And it's like you said, when you have such it's a terrible thing, I was like, well, is it that terrible? I know it's terrible, like all the younglings died, but as far as like, there's still a lot of Jedi out there.
But Nick, there should be. Okay, initiate Order 66. Fucking 10 minutes later, we all got our asses kicked.
Right.
All of us. How many Jedi did you kill? Just the little kids.
Yeah, we took out the kids. Fantastic.
And the only reason we did that is because the teacher was in the bathroom. That was it. Because these fucking Jedis killed us, asshole.
Yeah, because the one Jedi was taking a nap. He was an easy one to get.
Yeah, he was sleeping, so we were able to kill the little kids, but everybody else, I'm the only one alive.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there was a whole clone army that could take them out. But.
What the fuck? Yeah. I mean, I like you said earlier, George Lucas's thing, it was supposed to be about the Emperor and Vader hunting down the Jedi. I can wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
I can. Because there was really no one except for those 2 and Darth Maul in that time that I can see that could have stood up against him, except for like your Count Dooku's and stuff like that. I've not seen anybody that I think could kill a fucking Jedi at all in any of this shit.
Actually, I have a question in all this, and I don't know if anybody can answer it. But so now we all know that like the Mandalorian and Boba Fett and all these, they're kind of tied into the Ahsoka theory. You know how that ended in Rebels.
Sure.
Is this tied into the Ahsoka theory?
Because
technically she would be there if she was alive, right?
Well, that's getting into Jerry's question earlier. There are certain people who are like, you should not be surprised if Ahsoka pops up. Or also, they do think you're going to see a Qui-Gon, a ghost Qui-Gon. So don't be surprised. But Ahsoka is, it's what drives me nuts, because there's a lot of crap that Disney Star Wars is coming out with, but there's also some highlights. And I think Ahsoka, the Ahsoka show is one of those highlights, because the big thing is she's going after Grand Admiral Thrawn. And Thrawn is one of those characters I've been waiting a while to see brought to the screen. He's one of those, lesser known. You see him in Rebels, but to see a live action version of Thrawn, I'm very excited to see. But also, it just, look, man, Disney isn't just giving me not a lot of hope as to what's going on. So.
To me, it would make a difference. I mean, it's kind of why we might see a different Obi-Wan, because if they're, obviously this is before the, Ahsoka would live through the Vader fight, but I mean, if this is, it could make sense why we see such a different Obi-Wan Kenobi in this, instead of better.
If that's the case, then that's cool, but we don't know about it. So they're going with this kind of like, just trust us where we're going. But it's not like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like in phase 2 going into phase 3. Like, you haven't given me anything to trust, like to stay on this journey with you, and except for the Mandalorian, which I'm in, so that's what I mean by that. It's like, just trust us and we'll get you there. I don't think I can.
No, trust goes both ways, guys.
Yeah. Like with WandaVision, I always bring that up on this show. That show doesn't make it past the first episode unless there's a Marvel Cinematic Universe to back it up at all. Because at the end of the first episode of WandaVision, you're like, what the fuck was that?
That's what I did.
Oh, come on. We got the extended WandaVision. It was called Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't impact that show for me. I still love that show. So.
I liked WandaVision.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't. I feel the same way about Doctor Strange as you did. I'm just saying it doesn't affect how I felt about WandaVision.
Right.
So, but my point is that they're asking us at Disney to trust them on this. If that's the case, if this is an alternate universe, then you're saying trust me and we'll explain everything.
No alternate universes. I'm tired of that weak ass theory. I am. I'm tired of that crap. They did it for Star Trek so that they can do whatever they want. Now they're doing it with with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, this is a different thing, so we can do whatever we want. It's like, all right, jerks.
But now I pose this to you too. We have almost an entire cast for a new set of original Star Wars movies. All we're missing is Luke and Leia. Although we have a real life Luke that could play Luke. I can't remember his name. Winter Soldier.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah,
he looks just like Luke.
Oh yeah.
And all we're missing is a Leia, because we have a new Han Solo from the Solo movie. We have Lando. No, we have Lando. We have Vader. I mean, we have a lot that we could work with to remake the original 3 movies to line up with the new universe too.
I've got your Leia.
That is my worst nightmare, by the way.
I've got your young Leia, by the way. Hold on one second here.
That would be the bastardization of. That would be the final bastardization of Disney Star Wars. Is that like? Don't worry, guys. We're just gonna make the original trilogy over again. Trust
Here,
us.
I'll share my screen though, real quick. This is your Leia. This is your young Leia. See her yet?
Nope.
Oh yeah. Well, that's yeah.
It's Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. There you go.
yeah. Her last name's Lord. Billy Lord.
I was gonna say Billy Lord. I thought it
Yeah.
was Billy, but I was like,
I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
well, I just don't know her acting ability at all.
Watch American Horror Story, dude. She's
Yeah,
great.
I'm not terribly impressed by that. But
At this point with what they've done with Star Wars, I almost wouldn't mind seeing them redo the. I know it's not a popular, reason to say this, but I almost wouldn't mind seeing them to do it because then some of this stuff would make more sense than it does without redoing them. Because I think what we were talking about earlier is, with what you're doing here with Kenobi, you are treading so. You're invading the territory of A New Hope when they meet on the Death Star.
Yeah.
And it's getting so awkward and like so close to just violating everything about that scene that I don't, that's why I'm kind of drawn away from it. I don't like it, because I don't want you to ruin that scene for me.
you're messing with my stuff. Stop messing with my stuff.
Right.
If you want to do a Star Wars with, Luke, Leia, Han, and them being young and stuff, you know what you do? You do a Star Wars story right after Return of the Jedi. They're out there. They're alive. They're out there. They're young.
Yeah.
Why not?
I completely agree.
I mean, Luke and all them, well, we already know Luke exists in the Mandalorian.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Nick's over there going, "Shut up!"
No, and I just don't like what they did with him in the Mandalorian. The making Grogu choose between the Mandalorian armor and the Yoda's lightsaber, and I was like, oh, cool! Like, yeah, we're actually gonna get some character development from Grogu. Like, he's gonna go off and train with Luke. He's gonna be a badass, and oh no, we're just gonna keep status quo. We're not going to actually add any actual drama to the show. We're not going to actually make the characters develop anything. Or, if they'd have made it where, hey, we had a whole season of, what we do? We got a pissed off Mandalorian and he's going to take it out on, the bounties or whatever he's got to go do or whatever he's doing. No, now he's playing stepdad again. And okay, nothing changed. Fantastic.
I still think that was hell fucking awesome. I would rather see Grogu grow up to become a Mandalorian than a Jedi.
I look at it this way. Oh, I think Grogu could be the most powerful bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I like that rabbit hole.
And that's fine. Okay, so this was my story. This is how I wanted. If I were the writer, this is how I would have had it go. So, you have Mando, and then you have the interaction with Bo-Katan, and there's a struggle because everybody wants a Darksaber because that's how the leader of the Mandalorians is. So there ends up being essentially a war between the Mandalorian and Bo-Katan, which I think that's the way they're going anyway. And the Mandalorian's losing. But who sweeps in to save him at the last second? Grogu with a freaking lightsaber. You know how many toys that would have sold? I'd buy 6.
I don't know, man.
Only, maybe more. I'd get the Funko Pop. I'd get the Black Series, whatever. I'd get the the whatever 16 versions they want to throw at you. But yeah, and that was part of the issue too, because hey, you made Jedis don't believe in absolutes. Well, Luke, you made Luke make an absolute decision, and that's another character canon breaking thing. I'm sick of the whole Baby Yoda thing. He's useless. At least give him some skills. Let him go train with Luke for a little bit, and he come back and actually maybe say 3 or 4 words and be able to fight.
Ladies and gentlemen of the world and planet Houston, I give you the only man in the world who just called Baby Yoda useless. Didn't call him Grogu. He called him Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is useless. You heard it here first on the Escape Podcast.
First of all, I love Grogu / Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him. I've got Pops, life-size Pops, right over here. But I'm sick of the whole Baby Yoda thing. I want character development. That's all I ask.
Are those close to you? Useless too? I'm just fucking with you.
Touching them. Jerk.
We're gonna see. Watch. We're gonna. You know what? We're gonna see Baby Yoda doing push-ups and everything else, training like Rocky in season 3 of Mandalorian.
How cool would that be?
Right?
And if you gave him a lightsaber to use, I'm just saying that'd be cool.
We don't know that he didn't take the lightsaber from Luke too.
That's fair.
Because and what my question is too is who flew Red 5 to Tatooine?
I was gonna say that's another thing where like, hey, Luke's an a-hole. He didn't even bother to drop him off personally. He just set him on autopilot. And hopefully he made it back safe. It'll be fine.
Trust us.
Yeah, exactly. Disney.
Trust us.
Trust us.
Exactly.
Yeah, with their stock and everything. Yeah, trust us. Your company's crumbling.
But if you want that card, if you want the trust us card, you got to give us something that to believe in first, and they haven't.
Well, that's why I said at the beginning of this, it is the last. I'm already essentially out, but as far as trusting things, like I'll still watch. Look, let's not completely bullshit. I'm gonna watch Star Wars, but I'm not gonna love. It's taken a lot of my love away from Star Wars. I know there's still the Lucas stuff, but my excitement for Star Wars has waned, and it's Disney's fault. So, yeah.
There was nothing we could do, and that's that. What's that, Jay?
I said I don't want to blame a lot on Disney because I'm like one of those Disney fans. I've been there a few times. We've taken the kids there. I absolutely love Disney, and like, so I guess I term them. They can get so over creative. Nick, you say it all the time with the writers. They like come up with good stuff, and then it's like they overthink everything. Well, yeah. Disney's kind of like that, in their movies. It's like, God, you guys, stop overthinking stuff. Just
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Point, sit and listen to everybody.
Well, let's be honest. There was no reason for Grogu to come back at the end of that season of Mandalorian. There was no actually it's technically Boba Fett. There was no reason to have him come back. They very easily could have left that for the start of season 3 Mandalorian.
I know.
Just let stuff stew, man. Just let it. You don't have to get in there and start messing with stuff. Just
still my favorite episodes, though.
Well, yeah, but would that have made a difference if Grogu had showed up at the end of those episodes? No. I mean, it's a nice little it's like a little topper on a Sunday. Yeah, that's nice, but the ice cream and everything was there.
All that did is draw more watchers. That's all it did, literally. Yeah. If you ask me.
Yeah, but there's no like, oh, what's gonna that'd have been the big storyline. What's the decision gonna be? We could have nerded out and talked about that until
forever.
Was
it December that they're coming out with the next season?
It ended real early this year. Oh yeah.
And I'm probably one of the few that has really high hopes for Boba Fett. I think they're gonna blow everyone's mind with Boba Fett. I could be wrong, but I think. Go ahead.
Say when you've got the actor playing Boba Fett saying, "Hey, you know what I'd really like to be this time around? Boba Fett." How about we get back to Boba Fett being Boba Fett, not just I'm gonna take my helmet off and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna act like I'm a freaking a mayor now, walking around kissing baby.
Well, I think there's more to it. I think he's doing that for a reason because I think I told Adam this before. So I look at Boba Fett like he's starting Tortuga. I hate to use another Disney movie as, canon for that, but I think he's starting the bounty hunter of Homeworld. And I think there's a little bit more to that Cad Bane scene when he kills Cad Bane than
for sure.
Than you think.
If they killed off Cad Bane right there, I'd be freaking irate. Cad Bane's one of the cooler characters from the extended, the cartoon.
Oh God, no, I don't think he's dead at all. You don't see any blood from the stab wound, nothing. It's like,
and the thing's still beeping and all that.
Yeah, but when Cad Bane says you got your father's blood running through your veins, you're a killer.
Yeah,
I think he is, and I think I think he's setting himself up to be a killer. That's why he's being, like Mayor Boba Fett, to set everything up so that no one will challenge him, and he's going to draw in every bounty hunter to that place. And I don't know what they're going to set up with it, but I got a feeling it's going to come to a quick end, unfortunately, because he's going to go after something, But
if they make that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, but again, that's that's the other trust us thing too. It's like we can sit here and come up with theories all day long, and then you add in Disney, and it's like, oh, okay, that's completely the opposite way I wanted to see it go. But
yeah, I see you did not go the good way that we had already set up for you.
Yeah, I still have fun with these shows. I just, I understand your pain though, Nick. I do.
Well, it's a lot of people are like, oh, touch grass or whatever. It's just Star Wars. I was like, okay, first of all, let's say you're a big fan of McDonald's and you are a big fan of Big Macs, and they just keep changing just a few things here and there. Instead of 2 beef patties, one's a fish fillet, and you're like, well, that's not a Big Mac anymore, right? I want a Big Mac because that's what I grew up loving. I like the Big Macs. Well, we changed the special sauce just a little bit. Well, then it's not a Big Mac anymore now, is it? I'm not gonna be one of those people who's just like, oh, I'm just gonna consume. They're like, no, I'm gonna call stuff out where I was like, no, that's not what I grew up with. That's not, even though they're still putting up on the menu, it's a Big Mac, and I'm like, no, it's not a Big Mac.
So for as much as Nick loves Star Wars, I love Batman. So let me tell you how I can understand and feel your pain. There's a movie called Batman and Robin. There's a TV show called Gotham. And right there, I mean, that's all I need. Oh, Batwoman. So yeah, I feel your pain. I've been through this. I mean, I still got to use hemorrhoid cream.
Yeah, well, it's just well, I'm not gonna sit there and just be like, oh, it's this. No, it's not. That's not what you don't. You're not serving up what you used to serve up. I'm not gonna sit here and just be like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'll just keep eating this bullshit sandwich. It's cool.
Okay, so I'll just send you out my quote here. This suit is like the best, state of the art. It will be when it's suited for a woman.
When it's suited for a woman. Thanks, Ruby Rose. And who bailed after one season, so she's like, this is shit right here.
Well, she was smart too. One, being treated like shit, and two, she knows a good script when she sees one. That was some bullshit.
And that's saying something for Ruby Rose, who is not exactly known for her acting chops there.
I mean, though she was in Orange is the New Black, I mean, she's seen how real TV works.
Right. Yeah, good TV anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, end of episode 5. Reva sees the message from Bail, and then we have a final shot of Luke.
We have a final shot of Luke?
Final shot of Luke sleeping. So, and I'll just stick with what the rumors have been since day one. Somehow they're going to try and make Reva the savior and try and steal it away from Obi-Wan.
As you do.
As Disney does.
But I don't know. You know what? And so I hope they don't do it. I hope we don't see Vader on Tatooine.
No, that would break so much shit. That would break so much stuff. Because
it's too hot there with that suit.
Yeah, it's a little hot. But also, how do you not sense your child / someone who is probably already incredibly strong with the Force, but doesn't know how to control it, doesn't know how to hide it like Obi-Wan would.
He'd be like,
you're gonna get on that planet and be like, wait a second, that's,
I guess that's the problem I have with Leia right now too, though.
Yes. Well, that's the whole argument.
Doesn't he censor?
Well, that's part of the issue of the canon. And we had Jerry and Chuck on, and Chuck made a good point where it's like, one of the most iconic scenes in Last Hope is Leia, help us, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope, and you served my father in the Clone Wars. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I understand you can't put in like, hey, remember this when we were doing the thing and you saved us, but at the same time, like, wouldn't just be like, hey, it's me again, I'm in trouble, help me out, like, peace out.
Right. No, I agree. When I watched that last week with that too, it's like, I get what he's saying, I like that, but it just comes so close to like the fact, like, I don't want to, you're really treading on that. Now it almost doesn't make sense, and it's like, that's the kind of part I don't like.
Well, it's like I said, you get too close to it, and you're just like, oh, you either want to. And I've read some articles and heard some people that talk about some of the articles with Joby Harold, the thing where he's like, yeah, well, there's no line that technically says that that shouldn't happen. I was like, that's such the childish bullcrap answer where it's like, yeah, like, you don't have to tell your kid not to smear his poop on the wall. The kid's like, yeah, well, you never told me. I was like, you freaking know better not to smear poop on the wall. You know better. I shouldn't have to tell you that.
Well, I didn't know it wasn't against the law.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard that a few times.
Yeah.
Doesn't smell that bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was. Hey,
didn't know that was illegal.
You'd probably catch me with something like that, though. I don't know. I wouldn't be doing anything bad.
Sure.
But
not today.
Yeah. So, all right.
Not in this chapter.
All right, we're getting on almost an hour and a half, guys. Let's do quick predictions, and we'll wrap it up. So, Jay, you go first.
You know what? I don't know.
Or at least things you'd like to see in this last episode.
So things I'd like to see. I kind of like to see a badass Obi-Wan come back at least a little bit before it's over. I guess I kind of want to finally see a good end to it. I can't even tell you a prediction of what I really want to see. I want to see a good end that makes me kind of like the show again, like from when I liked it at the start.
I plan to catch up this weekend, so I want to watch the last one with you guys. So
sure, but just quick, Adam, how would you like to see the series wrapped up?
How would I like to? I don't think I've watched enough of it to say how I would like to see it wrapped up, but I do know this. I know what the ending is, or at least what it should be, because I've seen Star Wars A New Hope. And then I've seen the end of Star Wars A New Hope. So wherever this goes, it's got one episode left. Okay. For me, I've got 4, but it's got one episode left. Where's it going? And what is this for? And who is it for? Because after this, he pretty much stays on Tatooine, right? I mean, that's it. Because what it feels like to me is like we were teenagers, or you, Jay, we've all had this conversation in 1990 something, whatever. Well, that'd be cool if they did an Obi-Wan movie, or, well, he died. Well, you could do it back then. Well, I mean, all he did was, now we've seen this. Now we've seen the prequels and that show that has been out, the Rebels. Well, we've seen all that, and now we know he protects Luke, and that's it. Because we need A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and we need Return of the Jedi to line up the way that it should. And this hinders that if it goes in a different direction on the last episode. So I want to know, I know where it should go. I'm curious to see where it will go. And I don't have a lot of hope. I'm wondering what they're going to, what are they going to leave us off with? Because they left us off with Boba Fett that I can't really remember anyway. Where did they leave us off with Boba Fett? Was there people coming there?
No, but essentially it's after the battle, Boba Fett's kind of earn the respect of the town folk, and he's essentially the leader of the town.
And now we got Grogu and Mando terrassing around the galaxy for God knows whatever. So all of that's legal. You can do all of that. It doesn't matter if it happens in the sequel trilogy. Doesn't matter if it happens in the prequel trilogy or whatnot. It just doesn't matter. That's what's going to happen. So I lost my train of thought.
I just don't know. I don't know if these writers have the ability to stick the landing, so to speak.
Is there a landing, guys? Because the way you guys are talking, doesn't sound like there's a landing.
That's the thing. So, but
landing in quicksand.
It makes me. That's why I'm saying I know what the landing should be.
Yes, it's one of those. I mean, you said it earlier. Who's the show for? I don't know. It's not for Star Wars. It's not for Lucas Star Wars film fans. But how do they stick the landing, guys? It's I don't know. Like, and once you get hit on they're gonna try and make Reva this sympathetic, redeemed character, and they just haven't done nearly enough with the character to get that redemption.
They should kill her in this. Then that's it.
She's gonna die, but she's gonna die martyred. She's gonna essentially get martyred and be martyred for Luke, basically. Which okay, but also then that kind of takes away the whole legacy of Obi-Wan literally giving up the rest of his life. And as the one video that we watched with Sam, what we're explaining, the Darth Maul and Obi-Wan fight, just that this isn't, this outpost is not just some outpost. It's the most important outpost in the galaxy. This is the most important outpost to the Jedi.
I remember where I was going with that. What I was saying now. And just to accompany what you said. So we all had that conversation in 1990 something where it's like they should do an Obi-Wan show, blah, blah, blah. But, he's just sitting there, on Tatooine. It's like they took the idea, everybody talking about it, how could you do it? But they never figured out how you could do it. They just put him in it. They just slapped a little adventure in there. And the thing that really gives it a hiccup is none of this season matters after it's over. You watch A New Hope, watch Empire Strikes Back, and watch Return of the Jedi, and none of this has to happen for those movies to be pulled off.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then you're in a totally different situation, with the other two shows. Of course, they take place in another timeline. I know that.
So. All right, guys. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Jay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Having me.
Yeah, we are going to have a final roundtable show and kind of kicking around the idea of maybe having a show after that, just kind of bringing as many people as we can to get everybody's reactions and just kind of hash it out what where Disney Star Wars should go from here on. So
bend over and I'll show you.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking to you.
That's awesome.
Got a lot of nerve talking to me like that, Griswold. What should we do with Disney? What should we do with Disney? Disney, bend over and I'll show you.
So, anyway, check that out. So we're gonna have try and have another roundtable for the final episode next Thursday, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for Jerry. Thanks for Danny. Thanks for Shauna. Thanks over there watching us. And I think Patrick, was that Patrick walking at the last minute? So.
Oh yeah, he walked in from work. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, guys. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, America.
Good night, Planet Houston.